Okay, so good evening, everyone. Tignan natin. Last time, ang pinag-usapan natin is, tawag dito, yung finite potential well. Okay, tinignan natin kung paano behavior ng finite potential well by solving by using Schrodinger equation to determine yung wave function at saka yung kanyang energy eigenvalues. So, nakita natin na by solving yung Schrodinger equation, by applying Schrodinger equation sa finite potential well, uh, na yung wave functions nila ay very much the same pagdating sa in comparison sa finite potential, sa infinite potential well. But yung difference ay nangyayari na outside the barrier. Kasi outside the barrier, nagkakaroon ka na ng finite na probability na makita yung particles, okay, beyond the barrier. And that happens because of of a process called a quantum mechanical phenomenon called tunneling. So tunneling is a unique phenomenon pagdating sa quantum physics, and you will never find an equivalent process sa classical physics ng tunneling. So we also able to determine yung energy eigenvalues. Okay, hindi nga lang straightforward because we use transcendental equations to derive them. Okay, but we were able also to show na pag in-increase natin o pag pina-approach natin yung finite potential to infinite potential, then we end up with yung solutions, in other words, yung energy eigenvalues tsaka energy eigenfunctions corresponding to the infinite potential well. So lahat ng mga naging tawag dito, results natin for that meeting were consistent with yung infinite potential well na results when we discussed that in the previous meetings. So now let's generalize yung discussion kasi syempre iba-iba naman yung potentials or type ng potentials sa iba't ibang depende sa kung anong klaseng system yung binibuild. So to generalize means na pag-aaralan natin kung anong nangyayari sa isang wave pag tumatama siya sa isang potential barrier. Okay? So, kung titignan nyo rito sa figure na ito, we have two regions. Okay? Sa region 1 na mayroong potential na V1 and then region 2 na mayroong potential na V2. Okay? So, ang idea dito is to solve for kung ano yung nangyayari sa wave functions from region 1 to region 2. Okay, para maintindihan natin kung tawag dito, ano yung process as a result of the presence of the tunnel barrier. Now, this can easily be generalized. So this is called the step potential, di ba? Kasi paakyat yung potential barrier, but you can easily generalize this to a tawag dito step down potential na kung saan yung V1 ay mas mataas sa V2 simply by applying just that. Mag-apply lang kayo ng potential na V1 na ang value is greater than yung potential na V2, and this can all be done numerically. Okay, so ngayon ang gagawin natin is yung analytical na approach. So dito sa figure na ito, yung y-axis is yung energy at yung x-axis ay position. So yung potential V1 of course saka yung V2 ay energy functions or energy variables. Tapos yung propagation na horizontal is yung propagation along the x-axis. Now, meron ding variables na A, B, C, tsaka D. So, ito yung mga amplitudes, okay, ng waves. Okay, so mapapansin nyo na yung A, yung amplitude na A, okay, ay nasa region 1 at papunta dun sa barrier. And yung amplitude na B ay nasa region 1 din, papunta dun, paalis from the barrier. Yung amplitude na C ay nasa region 2, away from the barrier, papunta sa right. At yung amplitude na D ay is another type of wave na nasa region 2 na papunta sa barrier towards the left. Yung position ng barrier ay x equals x na. Okay, so to sort of generalize this, ang gagawin natin is, of course, we start with Schrodinger equation, and we set up the Schrodinger equation for each of the regions. Okay. So in general, ang Schrodinger equation for any of these regions ay okay, so negative h bar squared over 2m second derivative, okay, ng psi with respect to x plus v of x and then psi of x equal to sa e psi of x. Okay. Um, Tapos yung solution dito, okay, sa region 1 is given by a exponential I k1x plus b exponential negative I k1x. And then psi 2 of x ay equal sa c exponential I k2x plus d exponential negative I k2x. Okay, itong psi 1 is for x less than x naught and then itong psi 2 ay is for x greater than or equal to x naught. Okay, so even though dito natin ilagay yung equal sign, pwede naman actually natin ilagay yung equal sign dyan kasi meron tayong boundary condition na at the boundary is yung psi 1 at saka psi 2 ay equal sa isa't isa. Okay, ano yung K1 tsaka K2? So yung K dito, which is yung wave number, can be written as 2ME minus Vx, sorry, 2ME, 2M times E minus Vx, V of x, and then over h bar squared and then square root. Okay, so for region 1, ang Vx natin is V1 and then for region 2, ang ano natin, ang potential natin is V2. So, if we want to write that 2mj E minus Vj over h bar squared. Okay, na kung saan yung um, bakit ano J. So ito, gawin din natin J ito. So KJ. Okay, so in other words, ito ay nasa jth region. So yung MJ is the mass the mass ng particle sa mth region, sa jth region. Yung VJ is yung potential ng particle sa jth region. And yung KJ of course is yung wave number ng particle sa jth region. Now you might ask, bakit nag-iiba yung mass ng ano? Bakit nag-iiba yung mass ng particle as it moves towards each of the region? Well, it turns out na yung mass na yan ay magde-depend sa ano sa potential but not in a way na parang meron siyang sort of dependence talaga. Kumbaga yeah, imagine this. Okay, so syempre pag naglalakad kayo sa beach for example, okay, yung mass ninyo, okay, is yung alam yung mass ninyo, right? Pero once you go down sa water, okay, feeling nyo ay mas mabigat na yung mass ninyo because of the resistance or the interaction of your body with the water. So yung water gives you or sort of provides a different type of potential energy. And as a result, you feel na medyo heavy yung weight ninyo. Okay, so ganun din yung idea dito. So, as a particle enters from one region to the other where the potential is different, okay, the particle feels na nag-iiba rin yung mass niya depende sa potential na na-experience niya within a particular region. Okay? So, kaya nag-iiba yung mass niya. So, thus, meron din tinatawag na rest mass, okay, which is yung mass ng particle. Okay, sa relativity, it's the mass of the particle anong tawag dito? Pag at rest siya. Okay. So, sa electrons is just 9.1 times 10 to the minus 31 kilograms. But it changes sort of, okay, because of the potential that it experiences as it goes from one barrier to another. Okay, so to generalize that, yung M dito sa equation na yan, yung M dyan sa equation na yan ay pinapalitan din natin. Okay? What else? Okay, so yan na yung basically yung ano, yung Schrodinger equation at saka yung mga solutions sa Schrodinger equation. Papansin nyo rin, nandito na yung amplitude A at saka amplitude B, corresponding to yung amplitude sa region 1. Remember that A is propagating towards the barrier. It's also propagating towards the right. Okay, so kung ito yung x-axis natin, so positive x siya. Okay, makikita natin na positive x siya kasi dito sa expression na ito, positive yung x. Okay, and then yung B naman ay wave propagating towards the left, okay, away from the barrier x naught. At makikita natin yung dito kasi meron negative sign or meron kayong negative x dun sa exponential na term. Similarly, yung C naman is a wave propagating towards the right, so positive x yung meron dyan. And then, yung D naman is a wave propagating towards the left dun sa region 2, pupunta sa barrier, kaya meron kayong negative x. Okay? Dun sa wave function na may amplitude na D. Okay, so I hope clear yun sa inyo, yung interpretation at least nung wave function na yan. Okay, so next is we apply the boundary conditions. Okay, ano ang boundary conditions? Okay, so sabi natin sa boundary, dapat yung wave function at x equals x naught, okay, yung wave functions at x equals x naught ay dapat equal sa isa't isa. Secondly, yung the first derivatives ng wave functions at x equals x naught ay dapat equal din sa isa't isa. Okay, na-explain na natin ito before kung bakit ganyan. Okay, and if we do that, okay, so anong lalabas na result? Okay, so ito yung wave functions. Okay, psi 1 tsaka psi 2. Now, to simplify things, okay, let's set x naught equal to 0. And when we do that, ibig sabihin, yung psi 1 ay magiging equal lang sa a plus b. Okay? Kasi yung x dun sa exponential is 0, so exponential ng 0 is just 1. And then sa b naman, exponential negative I k times 0 will also be equal to 1. So matitira is a plus b. Dapat equal yan sa psi 2 at ang psi 2 naman will give us c plus d if we set x equal to x naught where x naught is equal to 0. So yung first na equation na makukuha natin dito is a plus b equals c plus d. Okay? Okay, next. What about, tawag dito, yung derivatives? Okay, so yung second condition is that yung derivatives nila ay dapat equal sa isa't isa. So if we take the first derivative of psi 1, we have a k1. Tama? So d dx psi 1 is equal to a k1. Right? Plus b times negative, I pala. May nakalimutan ko yung I dito. So, I k1a. And then yung first derivative ng second term is b times negative I k1. So, minus I k1. At dapat equal yan sa first derivative, okay, with respect to x ng psi 2 at x equals x naught where x naught is 0. So, equal ngayon yan so yung psi 2 nandito sa taas, so c times I k2. So, I k2 times c, and then plus yung derivative nito, minus I k2 times d. So, minus I k2 times d. Okay, so, we end up with this expression na a minus b equal sa k2 over k1. So, ganitong gawin natin. Sulat lang natin yung nauna natin dinerive. A plus B is equal to C plus D. Okay, so ito yung nakuha natin sa first na equation. And then ito naman ay K1A minus B. Pinactor out natin, kinansel na natin yung imaginary number on both sides and pinactor out natin K1 on the left-hand side. And dito naman factor out natin yung K2 on the right-hand side and then we have C minus D. Or A minus B is equal to K2 over K1 times C minus D. So we have these two equations that we can work with. Okay. 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 Now, going back dito sa figure, if we take a look, if we take a closer look, we have a wave propagating towards the barrier. Okay? A wave propagating towards the barrier, which is A. Okay, so that of course makes sense kasi gusto natin na merong, yun nga, may incident na wave. So that's our incident wave. At anong mangyayari pagdating sa wave pagdating sa barrier? Two things can happen. One is that that wave is reflected and yung reflection na yun is indicated by this amplitude B. The second thing that can happen is that the wave passes through or tunnels through, okay, or propagates through the barrier. At yung amplitude C describes just that behavior. So for an incident wave na A, it can either be reflected or transmitted, okay, dun sa barrier na x equals x na. So this is a reflection and this is a transmission of the waves at this barrier. Now, paano natin interpret itong D? Okay? It must be another wave. Hindi pwedeng nanggaling siya sa wave na A kasi ang dalawang pwede nga lang mangyari sa A is either is reflected or transmitted. There's no way that it can produce itong amplitude or yung wave na D unless that and the only way to interpret it is that D is another wave. And at this point, we don't want that. Okay? So ayaw muna natin ng ganun. Gusto lang natin maintindihan kung ano nangyayari sa incident na wave. Okay? And wala muna tayong pakialam sa iba pang waves. So what we do mathematically, okay, is to tawag dito, say na yung probability, okay, okay, na yung wave na yon, okay, ay mangyayari dito sa system na ito is 0. That means that walang walang traveling wave. There is no traveling wave, okay, in region 2. Okay, there's no incident traveling wave in region 2. Furthermore, gusto natin na itong A na yan yung original na wave. So everything comes from this wave. So this means na yung probability na yung A is happening is 100% or 1. So by doing this, then we have yung first equation natin becomes 1 plus B equals C. Okay, so ito yun. And then yung second equation natin becomes 1 minus B is equal to K2 over K1 times C. Okay, and ito yun. Okay, sige. Dali, ipopause ko lang muna to. Kailangan ko lang uminom ng tubig. Dali lang. Sige, meron na stuck sa lalamunan. Kaya yun. So anyway, anong next na gagawin natin? Well, we add these two equations. Okay. Pag in-add natin yung dalawang equations na yan, we end up with, syempre, 1 plus 1 is 2. And then we also have yung B magka-cancel. Then we end up with 1 plus K2 over K1 times C. Okay, or C is equal to 2 over 1 plus K2 over K1. Okay, C is equal to 2 over 1 plus K2 over K1. Okay? Okay. Now we can get B, the amplitude B from this equation. Okay, so knowing C, we can get B. So from there, we get that B ay equals to C minus 1 or equals to 2 over 1 plus K2 over K1 minus 1, okay, equals sa, um, so 2 minus, oops, 2 minus 1 minus K2 over K1 all over 1 plus K2 over K1. So B is equal to, so pag sinimplify natin, we have 1 minus K2 over K1 over 1 plus K2 over K1. Okay? So yan yung sa B. Okay, so i-highlight natin yan. So ito yung C, and then ito yung B. Okay? Any questions at this time? Okay, so recall na yung K, J ay equals to 2M over H bar squared times E minus BJ, 2MJ. Okay. Okay, so, if V2 dito sa figure, yung V2 ay mas malaki kesa V1, ang ibig sabihin niyan, ang K2 ay mas malaki or mas maliit kesa sa K1. Okay? So, oops. Since V2 is greater than V1, then K2 is less than K1. Okay? Hindi sila proportional so kailangan yung i-analyze ito mabuti. Kasi if VJ, if V2 is greater than V1, but you have to subtract V2 from E, which is a constant, ibig sabihin, if V2 is greater than V1, then yung difference between E and V2 ay maliit lang, which means na ang K2 ay mas maliit kumpara sa K1. Okay? So ganyan yung pag-analyze. Okay, so yung values ng K2 over K1 dun sa B at saka sa C, okay, such that it is less than 1. Okay, so ibig sabihin yan, okay, yung C, okay, will always be bigger than 1. Okay, paano nangyari yun? Thus, okay, C squared, it will always be greater than 1. Kasi remember, C is 2 over 1 plus K2 over K1. And if this number is small, okay, less than 1, then you have a denominator which is less than 2. Diba? So 1 plus a number less than 1, that's 2 divided by a number which is less than 2, then yung C parating greater than 1. Okay? Um, if K2 is less than over K1 is less than 1. Okay? Okay. Ano rin ibig sabihin ng pagdating sa B? Sa B, wala masyado kasi K2 over K1 is less than 1. And ibig sabihin yung numerator is just always less than tawag dito, the denominator. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yung B will always be less than 1. Okay. Which makes sense kasi anong tawag dito? Remember na A plus B, ito yung ating starting equation. A plus B is equal to C plus D. Okay, so ganun yung idea dyan. Now, um, What else? Anong klase information pa yung pwede nating makuha dito? Well, we can also take a look at yung ano, yung mga velocities ng particle, okay, as it progresses, as it moves towards the barrier. So how do we do that? We know na ang HK, okay, so ang H bar K is momentum, di ba? Ito yung de Broglie na momentum. So equal to sa mv. So ibig sabihin yung velocity ay equal sa H bar K over mass, right? Okay, and if we incorporate yan dun sa ating equations, okay, ano yung mangyayari? Ano yung kalalabasan? So first of all, yung Kj ay magiging equal sa magiging equal sa 2m hindi, sorry. So first of all, yung from this equation, okay, makikita natin na if V2 is greater than V1, then yung velocity V1 is less than V2. For the same reason na ibabawas nyo muna itong velocity na ito from the energy. Okay, so mas maliit yung difference ng V2 with E kumpara sa V1, which means na ang K2 is less than K1, which means na ang ang V2 is also less than. Yung velocity 1 is less than V2. And sorry, V2 is less than V1. Okay, ganun. Okay, so sa region 2 ngayon, okay, pagpasok niya dun sa barrier, bumabagal na siya. Okay, so sa region 1, it has a speed na V1, and then sa region 2, pagpasok niya doon sa barrier, bumabagal siya. And that's because there is a potential barrier. So the particle feels a bit heavy, and that's why yung kanyang mass ay medyo bumababa din. Okay, or at least no, tumataas. At it feels na para sa kanya tumataas yung kanyang mass kasi feeling niya bumibigat siya. Okay? So, yun yung information na pwede natin makuha from this type of system. Okay? For now, marami pa tayong ibang pwedeng makuha diyan. Okay, now what about dito inassume pala natin, sorry. So here we assume M1 is equal to M2. So yung both masses ay equal sa yung masses on both sides ay equal sa isa't isa. Okay, and next. What if yung masses, okay, ay hindi equal sa isa't isa? So what if M1 is not equal to M2? So, ano mangyayari? So, ang gagawin natin ngayon is ganun pa rin, i-apply pa rin natin yung boundary conditions. Okay, na yan. However, okay, yung ating Schrodinger equation, yung second na boundary condition, ay magiging ganito na. Sorry, dx, and then psi 1 x equals x is equal to 1 over m2 ddx psi 2 x equals x naught. Okay, so idadagdag na natin, incorporate na natin yung ano doon, yung mass. Okay. Naintindihan niyo ba kung paano nangyari yan? Bakit meron tayong mass diyan? Okay, we can actually get that from K, okay, from here. Okay? At essentially, ilalabas lang naman natin yung mass para magkaroon ng ganyang klaseng boundary condition. Okay? So, regardless kung saan nyo kukunin yung mass na yan, ganyan pa rin yung magiging effect. Okay? Whether you keep it dun sa wave number or you pull that out from the wave number, then you still end up with the same result naman. Okay? So, treating and applying yung wave functions natin dito sa boundary conditions na ito, we end up with two equations. We have a plus b equal to c plus d, okay, which is yung na-derive na natin kanina, and m, um, wait, 1 over m1, 1 over m1, and then k1, tapos a minus b equals sa 1 over m2, and then k2, then c minus d. Okay, and syempre pag sinimplify natin yan, then we have a minus b is equal to m1 k2 over m2 k1 c minus d. Okay, and then tulad ng ginawa natin last time, sinabi natin na ang probability na yung particle ay incident is of course 100%. And then there's no probability for a second particle, okay, na incident from the right. Okay. So applying these, then our first equation becomes 1 plus b equals c, and then our second equation becomes 1 minus b equals m1 k2 over m2 k1 times c, and then pag inadd natin silang dalawa, so we end up with 2 equal to 1 plus m1 k2 m2 k1 times c. So we have c equals 2 over 1 plus m1 k2 m2 k1. So ang c squared ngayon is 4 over 1 plus m1 k2 over m2 k1. And that's squared. And similarly, we get b from 1 minus c. Okay. And na-derive na lang natin to before. So we have 1 minus, ang idadagdag lang natin dito ay m1 k2 over m2 k1 all over 1 plus m1 k2 over m2 k1. Okay, so ang probability squared for the amplitude B ay equals sa 1 minus m1 k2 over m2 k1 all over 1 plus m1 k2 over m2 k1. Okay, then, syempre, square natin yung mga yun. Okay, so now we see here yung effect nung mass. So if you have a wave traveling from the left, okay, towards the boundary, then tawag dito, makikita natin na yung ratio ng M1, M2 will have an effect on dun sa transmission at saka sa tawag dito, reflection probabilities. Okay. So itong B squared, we call this as the reflection probability. Okay, we call this a probability kasi yung B is the reflection amplitude, and then yung C naman is the transmission probability. Okay, any questions? Okay. Kung masyadong mabilis, sabihin nyo lang. Of course, hindi ko kayo nakikita, so hindi ko makita yung mga expressions ninyo, pero syempre pag face to face, madaling makita yung mga expressions ninyo at alam ko kaagad kung medyo na ano kayo, nabibil na ano kayo. Tawag dito, ah, nag nahihirapan kayo sa pag-intindi. Okay, sige. Questions? So, kung walang questions, di magtutuloy tayo. Okay, so next na gagawin natin, okay, so we're talking about waves propagating, okay, towards the boundary. Okay, ibig sabihin, they are, tawag dito, we can express these waves as currents. Okay, and we already did this before, di ba? Sinabi natin na pwede nating i-relate yung currents within a tawag dito, within a region, okay, dun sa wave function. Okay, so sinolve na natin actually yung current density before, di ba? Yung equation, if you recall, is given by J equals a negative I E H bar over 2M, okay, psi star del psi minus psi del psi star. Okay, okay, so for region 1, for example, J1, okay, so equal yan sa negative I E H bar over 2M. Then psi star 1 del psi 1 equals sa, oops, minus psi 1 del psi star of 1. Okay, and ano yung lalabas na result dito? Ano sa tingin niyo? Okay, sige. Iiwan ko sa inyo na ano to, na exercise. Anong malay nyo? Lalabas sa exam. Hindi natin alam, di ba? EH bar. So this J1 becomes EH bar K1 M1 tapos A squared. Okay, hindi yan 1, sorry. Incident yan, letter I. So incident. So incident. So ibig sabihin, ang tinitignan lang natin dito yung A na part. Okay, psi 1, yung incident na part. Okay, so ganito na ang gawin natin. Okay, para mas madali niyong ma-solve. Okay, so yung reflected na current is negative EH bar K1 over M1 and then B squared. And then yung transmitted na current ay EH bar K2 over M2 and then C squared. Reflection. Okay. Okay. So now we can define what we call a reflection coefficient, okay, for the particle flux or for the particle current. Okay, and yung reflection coefficient na yan is given by negative JR over JI. May negative sign dyan kasi magkaiba sila ng direction. So that's nothing but yung probability na makita mo yung particle propagating towards the right, okay, which is B squared, and then probability na makita yung particle propagating towards the left, which is A squared. Okay, so ganyan. And here we end up with 1 minus M1 K2 over M2 K1 all over 1 plus M1 K2 over M2 K1. And then square yan. This is essentially the same as B squared kasi yung A squared sinabi natin na equal lang siya sa 1. Okay? Okay, and then we also define a transmission coefficient for the particle flux. Okay? So JT over JI will then be equal to M1 K2 over M2 K1 and then C over A squared. Okay. And this will be equal to, pag pinasok na natin yung C over A, 4K1, sorry, 4K1 K2 over M1 M2 all over K1 M1 plus K2 over M2 and then quantity squared. And you can easily derive this as 1 minus yung reflection coefficient. Okay, so 1 minus reflection coefficient. Okay, so in other words, yung transmission coefficient plus yung reflection coefficient, okay, must be equal to 1. Okay, and may sense naman yun, di ba? Kasi you have a current, 100% probability na may current ka, incident current. And of course, some of that will be reflected and some of that will be transmitted. Pero yung total na coefficient nila must be equal dun sa incident na current. Okay? So yan, yung representative image ng incident na current as it goes through the barrier at x equals 0. And then at x equals 0, the current is then reflected, which is tawag dito described mathematically as JR. And then it's transmitted, which is described by this parameter, JT. Okay, any questions? Sorry. Pati ako inaantok, ano? Okay? Okay, so next, tignan naman natin yung tignan natin yung mga velocities. Okay, anong tawag dito? Nung wave functions. Okay, or nung currents, or nung particles. Okay. And the way to do that is we start from the transmission coefficients. Transmission coefficient. So equal to sa M1 K2 over M2 K1 times C over A squared equals sa M1 K2 over M2 K1 4 over 1 minus ay 4 ano na nga yun? K1 K2 over M1 M2 tama. 4 over 1 plus M1 K2 over M2 K1 and then squared. Okay, or as we wrote down here for K1 K2 over M2 M1 M2, okay, and then divided by K1 over M1, tama ba? Plus K2 over M2 squared. So of course they're the same kasi ano lang yan. And then ang gagawin natin is we use V is equal to H bar K over M and then replace that everywhere dun sa transmission coefficient. So sa yung transmission coefficient will then become V2 over V1 times 4 over 1 plus V2 over V1 V1 squared. Okay. So what if the transmission is equal to 1? So let's take that case where the transmission coefficient is equal to 1. So case 1, let's say that the transmission coefficient is equal to 1. Okay, so ang mangyayari dito is that 1 is equal to V2 over V1 4 over 1 plus V2 over V1 squared. Okay, ang sinasabi dito is unity transmission ay nag-occur lang when the particle in the two regions or yung velocity ng particle sa two regions ay nagmamatch. Okay. In other words, this can only happen if V2 over V1 is equal to 1. Tama? So kung titignan niyo mabuti, V2 over V1 is equal to 1, then this will become 1. Ito magiging 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 1. So that's the only time na magiging na 100% na na tawag dito na transmission. So in tawag dito in physics, okay? Ang tawag dito ay impedance matching. Okay, so ang tawag dyan ay impedance matching or impedance matching condition. Okay, so kailan anong implications nito sa isa't isa? So recall na ang V2 over V1 can be written as M1 K2 over M2 K1. Okay, so saan galing yan? Galing yan dito. Okay, so we simply wrote V2 over V1. So magka-cancel yung H bar, of course. And then we end up with this equation. Okay, we already know what K2 is and K1 is. Diba? So M1, of course, nandiyan lang yan. So incorporating yung alam natin about K2 and K1 in terms of energy and velocities. So we have 2m2 h bar squared over 2m1 h bar squared, and then E minus V2 over E minus V1, and then 1/2. So, ang ginamit ko lang dyan is K equals to 2m over h bar squared E minus Vj. Okay? So that's that. And syempre ang kailangan na lang natin gawin is to simplify. Syempre magka-cancel yung mga h bar, may mga magka-cancel ng mga masses diyan. So we end up with this equation m1 over m2 times E minus V2 over E minus V1. And then syempre we take the square root of that. And if this is impedance matched, okay, then we have 1 minus 1 is equal to M2 over M1 E minus V2 over E minus V1, or M2 over M1 is equal to E minus V2 over E minus V1. Okay. So in order to have this condition ng impedance matching, dapat yung ratio ng mga masses between these two regions, okay, ay tawag dito, ay nagde-depend sa itong ganitong equation na ito. So we call this sort of an effective electron mass. Okay, so pero relative yan sa tunay na electron mass na m naught, or equals to 9.1 times 10 to the minus 31. Okay, so para mas ma-appreciate natin ito, let's take a look at let's plug in some values, okay, dun sa potential. So sabihin natin na if we set V1 equal to 0 electron volts and V2 is equal to 1 electron volts. Okay, and then we say ng M1 sorry. Then we plug it in dito sa equation natin. Okay, so we have M2 over M1 is equal to E minus V2, which is 1 divided by E minus 0. Okay, and tawag dito, kailan ito magiging ano? So we have 1 minus 1 minus 1 over E. Okay, and if we say na yung relative na electron masses nila is 1 over 10, then we can get E. Okay, so we say that M2 um, is equal to 10 M1 or 1 over 10 M1. So here, yung E ay equal lang sa 10 over 9, which is 1.11 electron volts. So at 1.11 electron volts, then meron kang transmission coefficient na equal to 1 under these conditions. Okay, so given na ito, at saka yan. Okay? Now, pwede rin nating makuha yung yung transmission probability or transmission coefficient. Okay? If we set yung energy to infinity. Okay? Bago muna yun, let's say na M2 is equal to 1 half M1. Anong lalabas naman dito? So, this is 1 half equals to E minus 1 over E. Then we have E is equal to 2 electron volts. Okay, so iba naman yung nangyayari na, so at 2 electron volts, yung transmission probability ay magiging equal sa, transmission coefficient ay equal sa 1. So, in other words, hindi lahat ng energy, okay, ng particles will give you unity transmission. Okay? And if we allow, sandali, bababa ko lang ito ng konting-konti lang. Okay, and if we let V2 over V1, okay, uh, where E approaches infinity, okay, if we let V2 over V1, and then let E approach infinity, we have this expression square root of M1 over M2. Okay, so yung transmission coefficient naman dito, okay, will be equal to, syempre yung limit as E approaches infinity ng 4V2 over V1 over 1 plus V2 over V1 squared. Okay, so sa case ng M2, or sorry, M1 over M2 equals to 10, yung transmission coefficient, okay, will be equal to 0.73. And for the case ng M1 over M2 is equal to 2, then yung transmission coefficient is equal to 0.97. Okay, and if we do that for all energies, ang makikita natin ay ganitong result. Okay, so if the system is impedance matched, then for M1 equals to twice ng M2, then we have transmission probability at this transmission coefficient equal to 1 at this level. If M1 is equal to 10 times M2, then we have unity transmission dito sa point na ito. Okay, so yung unity transmission will depend on yung ratio ng masses. Okay, and tawag dito, yun. So it will depend on the ratio of the masses. And then syempre yung values ng mga potential. Okay, so anong implication yan ngayon pagdating sa wave functions? So dito, makikita natin na yung ground state, okay, basically, yung mangyayari lang sa kanya is magda-die down lang siya. Okay, yung ground state ay magda-die down, particularly because yung energy ng ground state will be less than yung potential na V2. Pero and also, itong ground state na to is a bound state. Okay, remember na we call this na ang bound state is when the particle energy is less than yung potential. Okay, so E is less than V2. Pero itong first excited states, Psi 2 tsaka mga Psi 3, their energies are greater than V2. So they're not bound state, okay, but they're called scattering states. Okay, now, what happens, anong nangyayari dito? So yung Psi 2, for example, increases its amplitude. Okay, and also changes yung kanyang wavelength. Okay, remember na ang K wave number is related sa wavelength. So actually 1 over, or sorry, proportional sa 1 over. So 1 over wavelength. Okay. So, tawag dito. And yung sa Psi 3 naman, yung amplitude doesn't change, pero yung wavelength niya also changes. Now, these are all purely quantum mechanical behavior. You'll never find a classical particle, okay, that will have that kind of behavior. Okay? Anong kind ng behavior na yan? First of all, hindi ka makita ng particle na nagta-tunnel through a barrier. Dito, kitang-kita na regardless of the energy of the particle, it passes through the barrier. Secondly, for the scattered states, so ito yung mga scattered states natin. Remember na scattered sila because their energies are greater than B2. If you have energy, if you have a particle energy that's greater than the barrier, okay, classically, anong mangyayari? So you can break through the barrier. Diba? Um, pero sa quantum physics, you not only break through the barrier, but you retain its wave-like property, and you also change its wavelength. Okay, so yun yung nangyayari sa quantum physics, which you'll never see sa classical physics. Okay, so yan yung mga peculiarities ng quantum physics. We'll explore more on this, tawag dito, sa next na meeting, particularly when we discuss tunneling, okay, or quantum mechanical tunneling. Okay, and after yung quantum mechanical tunneling na yun, then that will be the end of yung lesson for yung coverage ng first exam. Then we begin lang tayo ng instructions sa first exam. Okay, kung paano siya i-conduct, and syempre yung mga exercises na pwede nyo pag-practicean na i-solve. Okay. Para ma-prepare kayo dun sa exam and para matuto kayo, of course. Yun ang pinaka-importante dyan para meron kayong matutunan. Okay? Any questions? Ayan, bagal. Okay, sige. Kung wala ng questions, then we'll dismiss a bit early. Siyempre, pag face-to-face, mas mabagal ako mag-explain because kasi nakikita ko kayo, di ba? And nakikita ko na nagka-struggle kayo, but here, you're not asking anything. So, ang tawag dito, so kaya tayo napabilis ng konti. Okay, but when you go back through these lessons, then if you have any questions, just ask them. Okay? So sige. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you again on Friday. Okay, have a good evening.